Okay, so welcome to the next demo session in our course. This time I would like to show you how to set up your virtual machine and a cloud provider account for our future experiments. For that purpose, I'm gonna use Google Cloud, but just only for illustrative purposes. All the methods, techniques, and tools are very similar in other cloud providers like Microsoft Azure or Amazon Web Services. So some of you may already be familiar with that, but for those of you who are not, I hope this introduction will be helpful. We are going to firstly create a new project in our account. Next, set up a simple virtual machine, and which is the most difficult here, to configure different access points to work with this machine in the future. So I assume that you have already set up the account on Google Cloud. For you as students, it is really worth to use your students' credits, both Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. In most cases, provide you with some credits, like a few $100s, to give those system a try. So just use it if you didn't use it previously. And then the next step is to create a new project. So, for example, here, as you can see, I have different toy projects here. If you'd like to create a new project, you should head to this option and set up the project. I have already done this. It's quite straightforward. So I did it and created a new project here for this course as ASI2024. And then the next step will be to set up a virtual machine. So in order to do this, we should go to Compute Engine section. By the way, they have plenty of different sections. As you can see, you have a lot of hundreds of products, maybe dozens of products they offer. It's good to, after first login, browse those most interesting for you, and then if you think that you are going to use them in the future, just pin them to have them at hand. This is my handy set of the most important features for me in the context of machine learning, but still, Compute Engine is here at the top. And then I go to virtual machine instances. This is this option. So as you can see, I have already a simple machine running. I had to configure this and to test different access points, etc. But if you would like to create your own, let's try it. This is this create instance button here, and you should name it. So for example, I'm gonna name it Maxi. Okay, Mini is already there. The next very important point is to correctly choose a region. So choosing the region is important because of many factors. Firstly, if you have your data sets in one region and the machine in the other region, the data transfer firstly will be slower compared to having them in one region. Secondly, it will cost you more money. So this is the first fact. The second fact is that due to GDPR regulations, if you are based in Europe, for example, and you want to process some customer data, you should keep your data also in Europe. So this is the reason why I suggested to choose the European region here. And then the third aspect, a bit subtle, but maybe also important to you, is that some regions have some active services, some not. So for example, in my case, for machine learning, I prefer, for example, this West 4 zone region and zone A, because in Netherlands they have a bunch of machine learning services I often use, so I choose that one. So that's your choice, but what I suggest is just to think a bit about this region choice. Next, as you can see, you have on the right monthly estimate. And since this is a very simple machine, I recommend and I like it because this is E2, it's quite cheap. So I suggest to give it a try. And it's gonna cost you around $28 per month. For me, more important are those 4 cents per hour because I simply use it just case by case. So whenever I stop using it, I just simply turn off the machine. I do not delete but turn off the machine, so I pay by hour. So that limits my costs. So the next very important point you should think about here is allow full access to all cloud APIs, because that allows you to later on log in to this machine from different endpoints. And that's that at that stage. So let's create the machine. It's gonna take some time to run. So it's created. Yep. So that was the first step. It's being created. This next step, I will just simply roughly guide you how to go through this, because there are some sensitive data being generated during this process, and moreover, you should do it simply by yourself. The next step is to configure connections. So I have this mini instance already running, so I did this job previously, but okay, but let's start with this one with Maxi. Okay, this is what we did. So the question is how to connect to this machine. The simplest possibility is to go here, use SSH and open in browser window. So it opens the window. As you can see, it transfers SSH keys to the virtual machine. Let's wait a sec. Yeah, it will take a few seconds. I'll authorize the machine with my account, and here I am. So as you can see, I can do different operations. I can make a directory for our course content, and it's there. But where is the hack? As you can see, if you look at this username, I log into GCP as with my email andrzej.wodecki@gmail.com. As you can see, it has created a user where dot is substituted with the underscore. So this is very typical user. Yeah. But from on my computer, on my local computer, my username on this computer, it says macOS, is Wodecki. Okay, so as you will see later, if you try to log in from using Google Cloud from your local shell, it's gonna use different user on the shell. So just that may be a bit misleading, okay? Because if you log in via browser, you log into Andrzej_Wodecki, but if you log in from gcloud, this is the command line interface client installed on your computer. That may be a different login compared to the login from SSH from the terminal, SSH terminal. So that may be a bit misleading. So if you would like to cope with that, just follow directly my course, or just simply ask ChatGPT or Gemini for the answer. Those chatbots are very helpful for that. So, but still, this is the first way we can connect. But the second way to connect and generally manage your instances, it's not only connection, it's just managing, which is we are going to use it very heavily during my course, is by Google command line interface. And a very good tutorial on that is here. So this is the Google Cloud CLI overview. It's a brief introduction about that. There's also a set of instructions how to install it on your machine. You will have probably different machine than mine. So just follow these installations, and then a very important set of instructions on authorizing your machine, your machine on GCP. Okay, so this is this tutorial. So if you want to connect this that way, which I strongly recommend you should follow this setup. Yes, you should follow this setup. And what are the steps? What are the typical steps you should follow? Firstly, you need to generate, as you can see, I have in my mini instance already did it there. This is the section here where you have different options, and one of these options are SSH keys. As you can see, this is the section. This is for user name Andrzej_Wodecki or .Wodecki, which I did it previously. So that's gonna be used for me when I log in with SSH client. But the first options we are going to do after the installation of the Google Cloud command line interface. Yes, we're talking after going through all those instructions here with the installations with Google Cloud init. Okay, so then this is the moment where you connect your Google account with your computer. You make first login. You specify your default projects you are going to work with. Yes, so you are authorized from this computer to work with your projects, datasets, virtual machines, all the assets you have in your Google console. Yes, you find something like that. So let me open my terminal here. Okay, this is my terminal, as you can see. And now, when I call gcloud, you'll see that there I have many different options here. And after the setup, I will just simply call this command, as you can see, gcloud compute SSH -- zone, the zone of my server, the name of my server, mini, which is already configured, and the code of my project. This is my project I have just created. As you can see, the name of my project was ASI2024, but the code name is different, project ID is different. These are some numbers, but you can obviously find those numbers in your project dashboard. So let's try. Yes, and I'm here, I'm connected. So now I am connected as the user Wodecki, not Andrzej_Wodecki, but Wodecki. So as you can see, this is this discrepancy. I have some test folders here. I can create the new folders, etc. But what if you would like to connect to this machine from some other machine, but without Google Cloud interface, without gcloud client? So using just an SSH command from your terminal. In order to do this, you should perform the following actions. Firstly, you should generate on your local machine, okay, on your local machine, the machine from which you would like to connect to GCP, a pair of your public and private keys. Yes, so there are different commands for that, but as you probably had those courses already, or you can consult, for example, ChatGPT or Google Gemini, how to create such a pair. Okay, then the next step will be, but I cannot show it to you. Maybe I'll just simply change. I have a folder here, as you can see, where I have authorized _keys file, where I should put my public key from my local machine to the cloud. Look, you have generated your keys on your local machine, but now I am logged into the GCP machine using gcloud. Yes, so I copy paste those keys. If they are there, then I can use the following command. This is my command, yep, to log in to the machine. But you need to be careful because, as you can see at the end of this command, you have external IP number of your machine. So in my case, this is this machine. At the moment, its external IP is this one. So I need to copy paste this, yes, and then paste that number here. So now I will log in using SSH command from my terminal to this account, which already exists. We have checked that it exists using gcloud on the machine with that number. Let's try. And as you can see, I have the same folder as previously. So as you can see, we have at least three options. We can log in from the browser, from my console. I can log in to this account using Google Cloud command line interface. And secondly and thirdly, I can log in using SSH. Three different access points, which are the most common. Obviously, you can also configure your Microsoft Visual Studio Code, which we will see in a moment. Yeah. One thing, very important thing, maybe not that very important, but maybe useful for you. You can, if you want, ask Google to keep the permanent IP address for your server. This service is paid, costs few dollars per month. So even if your machine does not work, you will pay for this. It's not default option, but still it's possible. So if you do not want to always change these IP numbers, both in gcloud login or, for example, in Microsoft Visual Studio Code, it is still possible. Okay, so in a second you'll see how to configure Microsoft Visual Studio Code for this. Okay, now let's have a look how to set up your Microsoft Visual Studio Code with GCP. So I assume that you have already installed Microsoft Visual Studio Code, which is my personal favorite IDE. You can also do similar things in your own IDEs like PyCharm, whatever you prefer. But if you have it installed, you should also have installed this extension, which is a remote extension. So if you do not have it, you just simply head to extensions and look for that. Remote Explorer, this is the extensions I'm gonna use. Having that installed, sometimes that requires a separate installation of SSH and tunnels, but we are not going to use the tunnels, but we are going to use SSH. And now, if you do not have any connections yet, you can click this plus button and simply type your connection command. So in my case, I wonder if you remember, that was the command we have already tested in our terminal. So this is the command ssh -i, and this is the path to my public key, id_rsi key, and this is my account I'm gonna to log in, and this is the IP number of my machine. So let's press enter. Next, the system will ask me which .ssh config file should I edit. I'm gonna use my local file. So in this config file we're going to store our credentials, maybe not precisely the credentials, but the information about the server. So let's keep it. And now it's already added. We can open the config file or just simply connect. So then when I connect to the machine, as you can see, I am already logged in. So it connects in a new window. So I can simply type here a last command, or I can open the folder like this one. As you can see, this is my course. Open this, and now when I create a new file like 1.py, which is just the simple Python file. It asked me to install some Python extensions, so I always suggest you to follow the recommendations of Visual Studio Code, because in most cases they're quite sensible. So I can type print hello world, hello, and yep, I have it here in my file. So if I open the terminal, type ls, it's already there. So at the moment I'm working on the virtual machine. But now, what happens in case we stop the machine? Okay, so now let's make a small experiment. As I already mentioned, this machine will not have the fixed IP numbers. So for example, if I stop the machine, okay, and now when I try to reconnect to this machine, as you can imagine, it will generate the error. Nope, it's still running. So let's wait a sec for stopping this machine. As you can see, we have a problem. So what can we do now? In such a situation, we are going to do the following. So now let's run this machine once again. It's already stopped. So let's have a look at the status. Let's refresh the status. As you can see, it's not active. So let's start the machine. In a few seconds, it will get a new IP address. That may be the same IP address as the previous one, but in case it's not, I will show you how to change it. So, I didn't click that correctly. So let me copy this new IP address. Let's try to reconnect to our machine. As you can see, it's already disconnected. So I can connect to host, this one, or let me check whether it's the same number. Yep. Unfortunately, this is the same number, so it didn't work. But in case it is not, in case you have a different IP number, you should head to configure SSH hosts, which is here. Can you see? And if you click it here, you will have this number here. So in case it has changed the number, you will just simply change this name. The host name here is mini. Okay, you should change only this number here, and it should work. So now we can connect to this host. We have it named mini. Let's wait a second, and you will see it connected. Yeah, it's there. So in case your IP address is dynamic, the workflow should be the following. Just simply start the machine, check the IP number, try to connect. In case it does not connect, once again edit your config file, change the IP number, and it's done. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how you can use Google Cloud command line interface to manage your instances in a very handy way. We're going to start and stop your instances, but before we do this, we need to initiate once again your project. We already probably did it, but it may happen that we are going to work on different projects. And if you run gcloud init, yes, you can reconfigure this. So as you can see, at the moment I have another project as active one. Yeah, this is ASI2024. So my goal now is to reinitialize the setup. Okay. So I am logging with my account. Next, as a new project, I use ASI2024. So this is option 1. Yes, I'm gonna set up the computing default zone, and my zone is probably, yes, Europe West 4A. So this is the choice number 14. And now it's already set. Having that, I can start or stop my instances. So now I can run this command. Nope, that's already running, but if I stop it, now I'm gonna stop it from the command line. Let's wait a sec. We can check the status also in our web interface. So in a few seconds it will stop. So let's wait for this result. Okay, so if we refresh the interface, we can see that machine is already stopped. So that concludes the very basic setup, very useful in our future works. So we have created a new project in Google Computing Platform. We created a new virtual machine there. We have connected to this machine via different channels, both via website, via Google Cloud command line interface and SSH. Moreover, we have configured Visual Studio Code to work with that, and that's going to be our main access point because it's very handy. You can drag and drop your files, you can edit command lines, etc. And finally, I've shown you how to manage your instances from the command line from your computer to stop and start instances whenever you need it, just to save costs and environment, obviously. So I hope this is a good kickoff for our new next lectures, and thanks a lot. Happy coding. Thank you.